Hey guys, Demi here from Atlas Vibrations, and I am here with your new moon in Scorpio update, collective update. And you guys have been kind of feeling it. I've had a lot of people telling me that there's a lot of change going on in their lives, and they're feeling a lot of deep energy. And so I am here to clear this up, give you an idea of what's going on. And so I'm going to start off with all the things about change. And I want to start off with Spirit's telling me to start with the two axes of Scorpio and Taurus. And so the beautiful part about this is with this axis, you guys heard me talk about Taurus energy before, but it is feminine energy, and these two energies balance themselves out. And so there is a very deep emotional, I don't want to say complex with Scorpio, but it brings up a lot of regenerative energy, a lot of chaotic energy, a lot of change, death, rebirth, cycles, whereas Taurus, is about peace, stability, comfortability, that living on that high end of life and being in this place of not wanting to move, and that tranquility and all of those things. And so when these two energies come together, as you can see, they're polar opposites. And so with this Scorpio new moon, you're seeing a lot of the things and new beginnings of regenerative cycles, whether it is karmic or even choices we have to make over and over and over again. These are probably things that you have seen over the years. These are deep feelings that you've continued to have, or deep like levels of emotion that need to be brought up for rebirth to help you ascend into a place of peace. And so these are things that like needed to be changed or evolutionized as we have begun to upgrade within Earth since 2020. And you guys have seen me talk about this numerous times in my videos about how with the shift of 2020, sorry, I don't want to say I don't care what anybody says, but Mercury retrograde is upon us, and I'm already seeing shadow energies as it is. So feel free to put in the comment box down below if you are seeing the same thing, because when I was looking, I think I used findyourfate.com, and I saw that the shadow energy wasn't supposed to start for like another few weeks. I'm feeling it already, so if anybody else is feeling it too, please do. I'm already seeing it. But that retrograde doesn't start until the 13th of December, so I'm going to touch a little bit more on that. But with Earth ascending, we're getting rid of all karma and all things that are kind of weighing us down, and we're getting rid of all the darkness. And so I want to say that this song and dance does not end. And Scorpio energy, I don't want to say it doesn't end, but it is a regenerative sign. And so what that means is, the best examples I can physically give about Scorpio energy is Fawkes from Harry Potter, the Phoenix, and also Doctor Who, the Doctor, as the Doctor chooses to regenerate. And so the best part about this is Scorpio energy really embodies, like I said, darker energies of shadow. So those are the sides of ourselves that we don't like to see. That's why it feels so intensely. And as we move from Cancer to Scorpio, we see the change in emotional stability, with Cancer being the mother and the motherly energy, and the energy that you learn about emotions from that, and that feminine energy that now that as it goes into Scorpio, it talks about more of the energies that you feel, embodying more of you and who you are. And I've always said in my videos that Scorpio energy, I believe, is masculine and feminine. I believe that it is that sign of that pivotal point of beginning and end, and it's about being creative, passion, drive. Libra being the ending of the wheel and going into that part of, I would say, judgment and the balance of the scales, and we'll touch on that as well a little bit towards the end, because I got some really cool things to share with you. But big changes, regenerative cycles, things that you've been seeing over and over and over again. And what's coming up is what needs to be changed and what will be changed. So you guys are seeing where you need to see change, where you feel deeply and passionate about things. You're seeing more aspects of your shadow side. So whether that is the unhappy or the parts that you don't want to see about yourself. So whether that is you're somebody that gets really irritated. I'm finding with myself, and I'm learning that I am just somebody in because mainly you may see it with your moon sign, because this is how you emotionally um like regulate things on a daily basis. Like with me and my like in Sagittarius energy, like yes, I'm learning that I am somebody who does not care about other people's feelings as much as I think that I do. I'm learning that it's okay for me to be in my shadow energy. It's okay for me to have a bad day. It's okay for me to be in that negative energy, but without bringing anybody down and without stepping into that hateful controlling phase. Because with these two energies, with the masculine and the feminine, the feminine is about creation. It's about being in flow. And the masculine is about taking energy, like charge energy, and moving quickly and thinking. And it's a key to balance out both. And so, like I said, you guys are seeing new beginnings on what isn't working, new things that need to be created in your life, new maybe passions, your drive in life, also maybe even new things like with sex, like in the bedroom and your sex lives, because Scorpio rules the genitals. And you're also seeing new aspects of yourself that are changing, that need to change, and seeing that you need to integrate your shadow side into who you are, and seeing that it helps transcend you into the light. And so with this, I always say that if you feel so heavy in these Scorpio emotions, where is it that you are moving towards peace in your life to find that tranquility? And I think that that's key, because if you look at it, what is this deep rooted change, the cycle of rebirth, feeling that this energy is being torn down to the core. And so in tarot, the tower, and also death itself, is also ruled by, I take towers, Pluto and Mars energy combined. And so Pluto deconstructs to like completely deconstructs to rebuild. So what is being deconstructed completely to be rebuilt? And so we got very lucky with Hades came through from Greek mythology, and I was like, so once again, as honored as it possibly could be, because I love Hades from from the Disney movies. But so he says that death, rebirth, and change is not, and he was very adamant, not an excuse, he goes, to be mean. And we've been finding that with shadow energies, we think that, you know, we don't have to deal with it, we have to run from it. And it's one thing if the person is very, very negative and how they sit in their energies, and learning to not be so hateful with this energy. And he said, think of it as like the underworld, right? When you die, once something ends, it ends. He said, it doesn't have any meaning. We tend to cling on to the past, and we're clinging on to the past with hatred, he says. So it's time for us to take the 4D energy, work together with the light, the dark, and the deepness of our creation, our reality, to create your life. And so not to get stuck on when things end, they end. You know, this is something about humanity. And we need to learn to embrace shadow, not in hate, not in darkness. And so, like I talked about before, feminine is considered, you know, the darker aspect of a yin and yang symbol, of that peace almost looking symbol with the two, like the black with the white symbol and the white with the black symbol inside in that circular form. And so he says, where we feel those darker emotions and the negative of, or the shadow of the feminine, which is jealousy, love, viciousness. Some of the most vicious things about feminine energy and its shadow energy could be talking about others behind their backs, making fun of people behind their back, doing mean things and tearing people down when you're threatened by another feminine energy. And so when it comes to masculine energy too, and that shadow energy, it's about anger, drive, and controlling. And so these parts of us make up who we are. But he reminds us that hate is the opposite of love. So when you're sitting in this hateful energy and not understanding fully what these shadow energies mean, and showing you what it means to move into the light, like these darker energies show you something. Usually when you're intimidated by somebody, or when you're upset with somebody, or you're jealous of somebody, it just shows you an aspect of who you are that needs to awaken within you. And it shows us that where we need to do better, and it shows us where we can transcend into the light, not to hate that person for being who they are, being mean and vicious in a very, whether it's a masculine shadow energy or a feminine shadow energy, like I said, and that's not what the sign is about. And he wants us to remind that it's about stripping down completely to rebuild and regenerate and rebirth and come back better on top than it ever was we were before, without showing that hate. And so with the afterlife, we have the field of reeds, and the Egyptians believe that once you die, you go to the field of reeds, and where that is that you get to review your life and sit, and it's a place where the soul passes through to go on to the next life. And that includes, like, leaving the body. And the best deities to connect with this would be Anubis, Osiris, Freya, and Odin. Anubis and Osiris in Egyptian mythology, for those of you who don't know, Freya and Odin in Norse. So all of these are death gods. These are all gods that have help, or actually physically help you move into your next life. And even in death, he says that we need support. And as you know, I know a couple mediums, or as some of you do know yourselves, you guys are mediums as well and have done this work and about crossing over and moving through the Arcturian portal, and Anubis is actually, part of his purpose is to help people pass through. And if you look up the mythology on it, it's very interesting. And so Hades talks about his purpose, about ushering people into the next life. And he says someone has to care for the passing souls through, and it's a very tough job to do, and it's a hard job, but not everyone is suited for it, he says. And it's a very hard place to be when you're passing through to a next lifetime and a next phase. And that's why it's so painful for childbirth, because it's a different phase of life. The soul is being put into the body. It's moving into this lifetime. When you pass, you have other people on the other side who help your soul kind of come through, because it's a traumatic experience. You always need help, even in death, and it's not something that we all face alone. And that was something that they reminded me of, which I think is beautiful. And as you move through these changes, allow the transformation, the monarch butterfly, the phoenix, the snake shedding of the skin, all of these things, the tower in tarot, death, always understanding that everything has a cycle and it comes to an end, whether we like it or not. And even it's us that makes those choices to come out and stand up better. And that's what this is what this energy is about, and using that darker energies to show you how to transform, how to move through, make the changes when things need to end, that they need to end. And so I think it's a beautiful sign, and it's tough because you can't, kind of move things without, I wouldn't say growing pains, but without shedding things that maybe you don't want to shed, and realizing it's for your best interest. And that's kind of where things come, and it's really beautiful in its own way. Got about a minute left, and some guidance that we do have from Spirit in regards to this new moon. The King of Swords. And so for some people, I'm seeing you got to put your foot down a little bit, and it's time for us to put our foots down. And I'm even seeing start to speak our truths, and seeing the directions that we need to go, because I feel like a lot of you guys have been on a journey of trial and tribulation, and the best action that we can do is, even for some, to get some advice on what you need. This could also be going to get help from a counselor if you need to talk about your feelings or talk about things, or even I'm seeing some people writing down your experiences to share. And how we can move through the emotional wave of it is the Nine of Swords reverse. Spirit is being very adamant with this. We need to stop making ourselves feel sick within our anxiety when things are ending. We get caught up in this, and it's not for us to be so sad about, because Spirit's coming and going. There are some things that you wanted, but you're not willing to let go of what needs to be let go. And the last thing that I will leave this with is, we are energy. We're made up of energy. Just like anything else, like a bomb, right? It goes off after you pull out everything, or even implosions, right? There's a lot of energy on the inside that needs to be brought out. Just like everything else, it's made of energy. We are made of energy. Our lives are made of energy. We take up an energetic space within this universe. We can't fit everything in that energetic space. And part of being human is understanding that things end. Part of being in the feminine is understanding that things end, and we need to move and flow in order to make those changes happen. And with the Scorpio energy, we can really try and control, because either way, things may not always go the way that we want them, but there's always a higher purpose and a higher understanding to see that there is only enough energetic space for us to be in, and we have to be able to let go and truly surrender. So Hope this resonates. Until next time, namaste.